Guys, let's talk about failure. I feel like the theme of my healing journey for a very long time was failure. I feel like I failed at my healing journey for a long time, especially when I had eczema on and off for over 30 years and many things never worked for it. And I often wondered, why is my body not working the way I wanted to? Why is my skin not healing the way I wanted to? And overall, I just felt like this big looming cloud of failure over my head, wondering, what was wrong? Why aren't the treatment's working the way I wanted to? So let's talk about failure, because I feel like there is so much to talk about. And I'm just sitting in my car right now, just waiting for my parents are here visiting, and we're gonna go eat lunch soon. But I was watching this vlog today from one of my, someone who I follow a lot and really admire. His name is Steven Bartlett. I think I might be pronouncing it wrong. Hold on. Yeah, Steven Bartlett. His name is Steven Bartlett, and I admire him so much because, in the field of entrepreneurship and just sharing his real thoughts and feelings, the journey he's overcome to build things, and failures and setbacks he's had as well. So as I was watching this, I felt really inspired, and I was like, hey, why don't I also share about my journey about failure? Because I feel like I failed so many times along the way, and I really love how he put it this way. The way he worded it was that failure is feedback. Feedback is knowledge, and knowledge is power. So when you have all those things combined, failure is actually power, because we are able to reframe how we see things, how we look at things. Once failure becomes knowledge, we're able to translate that and turn it into power. So failure is not failure. Anyway, I was mind blown after I was listening to that, because I was like, that makes a lot of sense. When I was going through the thick of it, the worst moments, I definitely struggled with it a lot. But I think because I've healed a lot, my perspective has changed. But I think being able to word it and really be able to put it in perspective that way really does make a big difference. Let's talk about failure for a second. And maybe you can drop in the comments as well, or, just let me know what you guys, or send me an Instagram message on IG. I'm at Eczema Conquerors, and just send me a DM on what you feel like your failure was, how you've kind of gone through it, or if you're still experiencing it, because realistically, so we all experience failure. It is part of the process. It is part of what we go through. But I love how the way Steven said it was, when he relates to this in terms of building his companies, and he has different teams, and he said that he asks all of his teams to conduct experiments every single week. And he said the measure of success is not how successful the experiment was, but the measure of success is how many experiments they can run, even if it doesn't become successful, even if it is a failure. Because if they don't run those experiments, they will never know what success looks like. So it takes doing as many experiments as possible to be able to reach that level of success. How does this translate to your healing, my healing, our healing? If we never attempt to go on different treatment plans, different protocols, and we're only relying on certain solutions again and again. For example, if you're only relying on topical solutions, for example, you're finding that it's not helping, yet you're not trying, different internal solutions to help. That could be one thing that you could pivot to do, which would get you more feedback for your body, more knowledge on how your body works, and you could turn that to find out what works best internally. For myself, there was a moment in time when I was on what's called the medical medium diet. This is right after my first pregnancy. My skin flared like crazy. My body was 95% covered in rashes. After that, I realized that I had to do something. So I went on the medical medium diet, and I essentially did that. It's a very extreme diet. It's I basically did raw vegan, only vegetables, barely any protein, maybe some vegan protein sources, mainly raw, a bit of cooked, not much, and low fat. I soon started losing my memory, even though my skin was getting a little bit better, but it soon reached a plateau. So I did that for about 8 months. Even though I had, in a way, like in my mind, I'm beating myself inside because I was like, why did I stay on that diet for so long? Like I should have done more internally, because then I just lost like 8 months of time. But if I had not done that, like reframing it to be more positive, like if I had not done that, then I would not have known that these diet changes alone would not help my body and my skin enough. And without that alone, I would not be able to use it to help share that with you guys so that you guys can learn from my experience too. Number 2, the second one is also, there are so many times when like I would be doing a protocol, like which is a treatment plan. I used to use like a lot of conventional medications like steroids and internally and externally, and then other medications. So I really tried to do something more alternative and different. So I had relied on supplements for a very long time. There were times when I feel like because I did the gut test, which is what we do in our practice and with our clients as well. Like I think I kind of took a long break from changing up the treatment plan, which we should have done earlier. And I basically relied on supporting that area for like a long time and doing some other things to like, supporting my nutrients. But the biggest thing that would have made the needle move was actually to work on my bacterial imbalances along with some of the fungal imbalances as well. Because I had stopped for so long, I feel like that really slowed down my healing, and I started beating myself down on it and realizing that like, I lost time. But if I had never done that, if I had never really, worked on supporting my adrenals or the fungal imbalances, I would never have known that it would help my skin so much. I would also never have known that I could help my body to what extent and for how long I could help it for. Because I realized that my body did get better to like a certain extent just being on those supplements and the treatment plan, but it needed something more, and I needed to go further. And then I realized like addressing bacterial imbalances was such a big part of it, and soon we like pivoted to work on that. There are many times along the way that I felt like I felt that feeling of failure for my body not responding the way that I wanted to, or even a lot of times like my skin flaring up right after taking supplements. It really caused such a big flare, and for the longest time my skin would just react. I used to wonder like, what's wrong with my body? Why do I feel like a failure in so many ways? But then I learned so many things about my body. Like my body's just sensitive. I have to go very gentle. I have to do 1 drop compared to other people who can do like 10 drops at a time. So I learned so much, and I share this with you because every failure is feedback. Feedback becomes knowledge, and knowledge becomes power. So I just hope to encourage you with that on your journey, because feedback is so important. And without it, we don't know how our body works, and we don't know what we can do to improve things. Do more things to get feedback and see how you're feeling, the more that it can also improve how you see things and how you do things as well. So just want to encourage you with that. You are doing great. It takes time. It takes time to find the right way to do things, and it takes time to figure out what the right move is and what the right plan is. But I just want to encourage you with that today and leave you with that no matter how many times you fail or I failed, I feel like I went through that for years, but you can get through it. And reframing it into that this is a learning opportunity, it's a learning experience, and that you'll just come out of this better and knowing more about your body than if you had never done any of this. Remember, Steven Bartlett says he does as many experiments as possible throughout the week, and it doesn't matter how many are successful or failures, but what matters is they tried, because without trying, they could not reach their level of success. I hope that encourages you. If you ever need more support, you're welcome to book a complimentary breakthrough call in the link in the description, and my team would love to help guide you and help speed up your journey, so that if you're navigating it alone or even with a practitioner who doesn't specialize in eczema, we just want to help speed up your results so that you can get from where you are from A to Z so much quicker than if you were to do it on your own or without an eczema specialist. So I hope that helps. Thank you for watching.